I'm going to put her back in jail. Getting out of jail is the big thing. You can take her back to jail. I can't change my mind. She said if she got out, she wanted to go find her daughter. Not a word, not a word. She's sitting there at home. She hasn't uttered one word, and she says, here's who has the baby. She didn't say a word to me. She didn't say a word to her mother or her dad. What, I can't change my mind? I believe the baby's alive. The little girl is deceased. I believe she passed it off to one of her friends. I don't believe that somebody else put a body in the car. Once. I changed my mind once. And I'm still hoping that the little girl is alive. I don't think she's alive anymore, no.
Do you still estimate it will take you a week to get her back?
A week from today. The little girl is deceased. I don't think the little baby's dead. I've changed my mind 180 degrees.
Mr. Padilla has agreed not to surrender the bond. He's going to stick to his word that he gave to me. But
I never gave you a word that I broke. Bail can be pulled anytime. Practicing to run for president with all the flip-flops.
In the last 72 hours, bounty hunter Leonard Padilla has come off of that bond. This after meeting with Mom Casey Anthony and other forensic tests coming in. He has decided the little girl, in his mind, is no longer with us. Now she is back behind bars. No bond to the rescue the way it was last time. Mr. Padilla, in addition to the forensic evidence that has just been released, was her attitude, the way she treated you, your personal observation of her sitting there in her home with her, did that in any way affect your decision the little girl is no longer alive?
Well, I'll tell you one thing. The biggest effect came from Wednesday from the Tennessee tests and the DNA from the FBI, or the information from the FBI.
Does she seem, I mean, you have been sitting with her there in the kitchen of her home. Does she seem remorseful? Does she seem anxious? Was she crying? Was she talking about the search for Caylee? How can we find my little girl? Anything?
Never, ever once. I only sat there in the kitchen or in the room with her one time, but I saw her when she was being transported to and from her attorney's office, going in, coming out. I sat in the attorney's office on a couple of occasions. Not one tear.
What was her demeanor?
Like nothing had ever happened.
You know, Sanchez, Strickler, don't start up about how people grieve in different ways. All right? Don't even crank up that same sad, sorry song. All right? So, Sanchez, what do you make of the fact that she shows no emotion, nothing about the search for her daughter?
I don't know what to make of that, but one thing I do know, I think this family seriously regrets ever getting involved with Mr. Padilla. Because Mr. Padilla essentially acted like a spy.
Do you want to answer the question?
You know, why she's not showing remorse,
Strickler,
I don't know. I have not spoken to her.
I hate to say it, but I would say that she's in shock. I know that's not grief, but all this thing has never have been in front of the media before.
She's in shock.
Yes.
Let's talk about that Bethany Marshall, psychoanalyst. We've already had one cop thrown off the force for a relationship with her on this investigation.
Is
that shock?
No, it's not shock. If a person has the capacity to murder a 3-year-old defenseless little child, and you know how charming 3-year-olds are, a person like that is not going to be persuaded to feel sorry, to feel remorseful, to crack or to cry, no matter what. Not if they're let out in front of an angry mob, not if they're handcuffed, not if they're facing someone in a uniform or moved in and out of the prison system. I'll tell you what motivates her. According to Tim Miller, he spent hours in the home and she was on the internet. That's what she wants to do. Dance, party, chat with her friends. That's what motivates her.
Right now, no charges of murders have been lodged against Mom Casey Anthony. Back to Alex Sanchez and Meg Strickler. This immunity deal. The immunity deal is a limited immunity deal, which means tell us where she is. We will not use those words against you, but if we get any evidence from, say, her location or her body, that evidence will come in against you. Is that the way you understand the deal, Alex?
If that is the deal, it would be absolutely insane for the attorney to go along with that, because basically you're handing over a prime piece of evidence to the prosecution, and they can indict her for murder and then prosecute her.
So, Meg Strickler, you and Alex, you know, you're chiming in exactly. So you consider her body just a piece of evidence?
No, I don't consider her a piece of evidence in that sense. I know she's a wonderful 3-year-old. I have a 2-year-old little girl, and I totally can identify with that. But Why would we give the limited immunity is like an oxymoron? It doesn't help us here. There's nothing that would help the defense attorney here in accepting this immunity deal.
No immunity deal. Out to the lines, Bonnie in Canada. Hi, Bonnie.
Hi, welcome back, Nancy.
Thank you very much. What's your question, dear?
Will the FBI be investigating Casey's communication on the phone and on the computer since she was out until the time she returns back to jail?
You mean were the lines tapped?
Yes. Or will they I don't know the legal term.
You're talking about, can it become a federal case because wire, telephone, or computer was used in possible transactions about this case? Drew Petrimo joining us tonight from WDBO. Any suggestion that there has been a tap on the lines?
No, I mean, obviously, that's something that a lot of times in these type of investigations that investigators want to keep to themselves, just, you know, for the integrity of the investigation. We do know that the visits between her parents and her that were taking place at the jail were videotaped, and those have been handed over to investigators, and those haven't been released to the public. So that's some information as to those conversations that we don't know actually took place.
To Alex Sanchez, if they've got probable cause, they could even have a bug, a wire inside the Anthony home.
They could. They'd have to go to a judge, and they'd have to ask the judge to grant them permission to put a bug. It's for a specific period of time, and then after that specific period of time is over, they have to remove the bug. So, yes, they could possibly get a bug in this case.
And Meg Strickler, they've been in the home plenty of times.
Absolutely. They could have searched through the house and looked for evidence in this case. And it sounds to me they have not been able to find very much evidence
I'm talking about a bug, Meg. They had plenty of opportunity to plant a bug if they wanted to catch her talking. I want to go out.
They haven't found anything.
We don't know that yet. We don't know what they found or what they overheard, if there was a tap. To Tim Miller, head of Texas EquiSearch, searching for Kelly. He's joining us tonight from Orlando, Florida. Tim, it's great to see you again, friend. Tim, why did you pick these specific areas to search? What evidence do you have? What do you know that led you to these places to search?
I didn't pick these 3 areas. These are areas that law enforcement wanted us to search. These are areas they want us to search thoroughly. They want us to search them 2 or 3 times, and they want these areas cleared before we move on to other areas. And these are huge areas. And
tell me in a nutshell, Tim, where the areas were police wanted you to search.
I think it's probably been made public that these are areas where cell phone activity was going off of towers.
Out to the line, Sherry in Kentucky. Hi, Sherry.
Hi, Nancy. I was wondering, have cadaver dogs ever been taken to the area where Casey's car was found?
Excellent question. Mark Williams, WNDB News Talk 1150. Have they?
Well, one of the things that EquiSearch did was search an area near the Amscott parking lot where her car was found. Apparently, they used cadaver dogs, but nothing came up in their search today, Nancy.
And the reason I take it, Mark Williams, that they are looking in that area is because her car was there, apparently run out of gas. So they're thinking if she had hidden Kelly somewhere, she couldn't have gotten very far from that location.
So true, and if she ran out of gas, she could have taken the body out of the car, and again, this is pure speculation, and put it anywhere in a wooded area in that general vicinity.
To Scott Haynes, Sheriff's Officer, Santa Rosa County, Florida, at this juncture, what do you believe police should be doing?
I think they need to keep putting the pressure on Casey. Obviously, they're going after these other charges, trying to put pressure on her, put pressure on the family. And I think they've done a great job so far, and the evidence is coming together. And despite the immunity deal, I think they'll make a case even if she doesn't want to go through with that.
Well, she's clearly not taking that deal. We'll be back with Scott Haynes and Dr. Michael Arnell taking your calls when we get back. But at your request, here are some pictures of the twins from this vacation while we were missing you. They were swinging by the sea. In the pool for the very first time, John David and little Lucy. On their way to the pool, she likes to play ball, and he likes to control the remote. Here he is. Now look, he's starting to crawl.